Hi everyone, it's Christiana here again, and I am back with another video. I know my previous videos was about my jaw surgery and my experience with that, but now of course I have to get back into trucking, as that were the original videos about my page. So I know I've been gone for about 2 months talking about trucking and things, but I gotta give y'all an update on my life and how things are playing out in my opinion on previous things. So first and foremost, I left the previous job that I was at. And where I was, as some of you guys guessed it, was at Schneider. So I'm gonna show y'all my opinions on where I messed up with things and the good and the bad, what I felt about Schneider. So of course and foremost, like I told you guys before, when I got into trucking, I got my license back in 2019, but I never went out. I went out one time in 2021 with Schneider, but I never completed it all the way through. Like I made it through the training, but never actually went out on the road. So this time in my life, I was like, okay, I could get back into trucking because I have like future plans and things like that for myself, but I needed to get my experience. So I was looking at different trucking companies and things like that to go to, but it was hard for me to get in because I didn't really have experience. Well, not really, but I didn't have experience. And I got my license back in 2019 and it was 2023. So it had been considerably 4 years without me being behind a truck. And so with a lot of trucking companies, they accept new graduates or experience. And that's how I was just like, okay, I had to go back to Schneider because they were easy for me to get into. You know, I had been there before. I know how things work there. It was pretty much the same. But I had to just technically settle with them because I didn't have the experience that I need to get into other places that I had wanted to go to and things, because I knew how I was at Schneider before when I previously went, but I had to suck it up and go back again. So when it comes to being at Schneider, their training is pretty good. Like I talked about before, you are at the site. I was at their Charlotte OC. That was my home terminal. I was scheduled there for being at the terminal for 2 weeks for doing training and then being out on the road for 1 week with the trainer. And I think their training is okay. You know, for being the 2 weeks at the site, you get to really do a lot of pre-tripping, a lot of backing, because you have to do 3 backings by yourself before they can let you out on the road and then like that will test out. And when it comes to driving, I had an amazing instructor. I would recommend him to everyone. Like, I'm not gonna say his name in the video, but I would recommend that instructor to anyone. But I also feel that Schneider tends to hire too many people at one time because, you know, their classes, they're taking in people every week, you know, and so these trainers are trying to rush because, you know, they got a new class coming in but still trying to teach you. So I feel like with them bringing in new students every week, it can put a lot of pressure on the trainers, especially when you are one trainer to like 3 students. You know, that's a lot of things that you have to pay attention to, trying to figure out, you know, where some fall, where some are great at, and then also trying to get them better in enough time to send them out on the road, because you are out on the road with an instructor for 1 week. Unless you need more time, because generally, if you need more time, they will try to work with you, but if you need more time, they'll more than likely end up sending you home, from what I have seen in previous experiences from people that I know who end up having to go home because of things. But they were just so easy for me to get into, so I had to settle with them. But I will also tell people, don't do what I did, where I ended up taking a position that I did want, but it wasn't enough pay as well, because I wanted something that was going to have me home every other weekend and regional. And I had signed up for the 24 states except for New York City, coming home bi-weekly, and I accepted 38 cents a mile. Now, I know some people are gonna be like, why 38 cents? Is because I was downplaying myself, because being back behind a truck, it's something like you don't really forget. It takes some adjusting, getting used to for a second, especially like pre-tripping and remembering how to pre-trip. But I pretty much remembered everything. Still struggle a bit with backing and stuff like that, because getting back into the field of a trucking thing, but driving is pretty simple for me. But I had accepted 38 cent because it's just like I didn't have anywhere else I could go to. I had to just accept what I could get, which I later learned that was bad for me, because if they are lowballing you, then they are going to run you ragged, because it's like you're moving all these high loads, but you're only getting paid chump change for this, and then it's like at the same time, when you are getting paid chump change, that chump change does not truly help cover times when you are broken down, because there have been times out there when I was broken down, whether if it was the truck or whether if it was something with the trailer. I'm gonna try to insert some pictures and things that I have went through. It may either be at the end, or I'm gonna try to insert them somewhere. But I had to learn not to settle. And then one thing that Schneider, they try to promote so much, safety. Safety is a big thing across, trucking, seriously. But not being able to talk on the phone to anybody when you're out there driving for 8-9 hours at a time, it gets boring and it gets hard. Because, I feel like talking to somebody, being able to just speak to someone and not just sitting there trying to find something on the radio, because you're going through different states, so all the stations change. You're allowed to Bluetooth your phone to the radio, but it's like if you don't want to listen to that song, you can't touch your phone to change the song and things. And it just gets too much at a time and things. And their trucks aren't the best, because I would have moments where the crash detection thing would be playing or going off, and it comes up on your tablets, because your trucks are connected to your tablets and things to be able to tell if you're moving or not. And then I would get calls or be a message on the tablet telling me to call about a potential accident, potential heartbreaks and things like that. And I'm just like, you guys have cameras, you can see that nothing happened. One time I did end up doing a heartbreak, because I had looked away for a second and looked back in front of me, and there was a line of cars in front of me. I can admit that. But all the other times, it's like they're trying to put so much of these new safety features in their trucks, but at the same time, they're not really testing them or just letting them go through that initial trial. Because I had a 2023 International, and people out there that know International, they just know, I have a picture of my truck somewhere. I'll try to post it and things for y'all. But it was nice that it was a 2023, but it only had 113,000 miles when I got it. No truck is broken in until like 50,000 miles. So, I want like a too old truck, but it's like I wanted something that wasn't an International at least. So yeah, but that was the mistakes I made, just settling, because 38 cents a mile is honestly not going to be much, especially since like a lot of times I was pulling high value loads, and imagine how much a high value load costs, and you're only making but so much, And then also, don't settle with whoever they give you as a your dispatcher, your leader, and things like that that's at the terminals. Don't settle, because I wouldn't say my guy was bad, but I felt like I was hackled a lot. I felt like I was better off talking to other people than talking to him, because one of the things that did really make me up and want to leave. So my last load with them, I was coming from Ohio, and I was taking this load to Charlotte to be relayed. The load said it was going to be ready at 11 o'clock that night. And me, I'm not a nighttime driver. I got astigmatism. I'm not going to be able to see nothing, okay? Because once the sunlight go down, my eyes go down. That's just how it is for me. But the load on the tablet said it wasn't going to be ready until about 11 o'clock that night. And so I was like, okay, it's that day. It was like around 9-10 o'clock. I was like, let me call and see if the load is going to be ready earlier. And so I called, and he was like, yeah, your load is ready. I said, okay, cool. I can get out of Ohio. I was about to be on home time because it was a Thursday, and I was my home time was starting Friday. So I was like, okay, let me get this load. I go and I get there. The load is actually ready. I'm hauling 42,000 pounds of dog food. So I'm just like, okay, I know I'm about 75,000 pounds, and I got to haul this from Ohio to Charlotte. So that's Ohio, West Virginia, the like tip of Virginia, and North Carolina that I had to haul this through. So I spent the majority of the day getting through these states. And if some people know me, I hate grades. I know I can't like skip around them as a trucker. I just hate grades, especially like when you are so heavy, you can feel it. I had to go through 3 grades coming from there, and West Virginia has those like mountain tunnels and things. I have like, it was just a bad anxiety like ride, you know. But I've been to Ohio and Indiana multiple times from my 3 months being at Schneider. But it's just like, you know, the anxiety just didn't go anywhere. And so from that day, when I picked up that load, I had made it all the way to Galax, North Carolina. So I drove about 500 miles that day, if I give or take and things. And so I'm already technically early because I had got to Galax like around 8 o'clock, I believe. And, you know, that load, I was still technically be in Ohio because that load was not going to be ready until about 11 o'clock. And so I can't sleep well because of my anxiety. Plus, I had like other things to try to take care of at night because you try to do so much that you can. Generally, I'm in sleeper berth for about 12 hours. You know, I try to get as much rest as I can because of how the day could potentially go. And so it's like around 8, 9 o'clock in the morning. I'm actually up. I'm about to clock on for pre-trip and things. And I get a call, and I was like, something told me to answer this call because I didn't recognize the number. And it was my DTL, and my DTL calling me. He was like, you know, where you at? And I'm like, I'm here. Like, you know, you can see where I'm at. I had the truck on so that, you know, they can pick up your signal and stuff. And he was like, well, the other driver is here waiting on that load. So, you know, you're going to be able to get it here soon. You're going to be moving within the next 30 minutes. I'm in Galax going to Charlotte. That's about 2 hours, an hour and a half, 2 hours. And I'm looking at myself like, are you really calling me about this? Like, I understand that the other person is there, but I'm like, this load is already early, and I'm not a nighttime driver. And like, this is something I already told when I originally came to Schneider and when I originally met my DTL and things. And I'm just like, yeah, I was just like trying to get off the phone because it had kind of like bothered me because I was already going through enough with the company and things. And it was just like, that had just like broke the icing on the cake for me, you know. And so I had got it there, and like right then and there, I'm just like, you know what, because I already had somebody coming to get me to take me home because I lived in Jacksonville, North Carolina, so that's like a 4-hour drive. I didn't feel like Bob telling the truck all the way over there, but in my mind I was already like tired and just ready to go home. So I was just like, you know what, all right. I clocked out, dropped the trailer and things, dropped the trailer, then clocked out, and then I just went on ahead, just cleaned out my truck, and I was just gone, you know, because at the same time, it was just, I wasn't getting paid enough. I'm going through Indiana all the time. I was constantly being sent to Indiana. The tablets were bad. They're just like, you want them to update their system. They don't update their system. I got tired of being called about things that didn't happen and stuff. Like, you have cameras to see what's going on around the truck. But it was just, I would say it's nice to go to for somebody who wants to be there for 3 to 6 months for experience and then just bounce. I mean, if you've made Schneider like somewhere for you to be at for years and things, then that is like for you. But for me personally, I feel like that just wouldn't be a forever company. You know, they had their good moments. You know, they feed you, they try to take care of you and things. The hotel that we stayed at was absolutely awful. Like, when I mean awful, like, you would be so nervous to take your drug test because people would smoke weed and things, and you could smell it in the hallway. Somebody got shot in the elevator at the hotel we were staying at. A guy was so drunk that he ran over the sitting patio outside and things. It was just, and we had like prostitution and things at the hotel. There was needles in the stairwell. Our 2 weeks there, I think I only rode the elevator like twice, and then it was broke down the like rest of the time being there. So constantly taking the stairs when you live on the 3rd floor. Was I on the 3rd floor? I believe I was on the 3rd floor. But it's a real serious hit or miss with the company. That's why I was like, I tell anybody, if you want to get some experience and trying to go somewhere else, they are nice to start off with, because like when you can't talk on the phone, you do learn how to pay more attention and things like that. But it's just like at the same time, not being able to talk to somebody in a truck for, if you're driving 10, 11 hours, that can become very, very boring. And you just, I feel like I'm more distracted not being able to talk to somebody than being in my own head for hours at the end. I can't focus well. But I wanted to let y'all know that that's my experience with Schneider. I had left there January 9th, somewhere in the beginning of January that I had like left them. And right now I'm at a new company. I had just started a week ago, and I will post a video on where I'm at. I will actually like, form out like where I'm at and things and tell y'all how that is going, of course. But I had to share it with y'all. Don't settle. Even if you feel like you've been out of trucking for a long time, don't settle, because at the end of the day, they need y'all more than you need them. Even though you are very limited, if you haven't been out for a while, you still gonna find somebody who is gonna be willing to take you, because at the end of the day, truckers is rolling things around here. And don't just deal with any company, any pay. Know what you're looking for and things like that out here. But I just want to give y'all an update on how things are going for me right now and how my experience was with Schneider, of course. If you've been making your time there, because I know I still got some friends that's there right now that I still talk to and things, and they are making the best out of their stuff. And I've had some friends that left and went somewhere else. So, everything is just different for everybody. But of course, please like and subscribe. I'm going to post another video soon on the company that I'm at now. And I hope you guys stay safe out there and keep it going for yourself.